everyone. This is Donna's Happy Hour. Just a reminder to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you get future notifications of the videos. And please leave a comment. Thank you. Have a great day. Now I'd like to introduce Sean and Annette O'Flynn. They're friends of mine, and I have to tell you, Annette told me their love story one day. I don't know if it was, a fast forward love part of the love story, but I fell in love with it. So that's why I asked you here today to share it with the world. Thank you so much for doing this. And so where do you want to start with this love story? Because from what I gather, your portion of the love story started before her portion of the love, right? Is that how it?
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah, so Annette is the oldest sister of a buddy of mine, one of my best friends back from when we were very young. I mean, maybe 10, 11 years old.
Okay.
And the way it started, first of all, the first couple of times I've been to his house, I didn't even know that he had two sisters.
Okay.
And one day I was walking in the hallway and I saw this picture on the wall. And I stopped and I was just, kind of staring at it. And I think it was maybe an 8th grade graduation picture.
Oh.
It's just her and just a little frame. And I asked my buddy, who's the girl in the picture, And he says, oh, that's my oldest sister, Annette. And so it kind of went from there. I was just, like starstruck looking at this picture and, but that's how it started. And then, I met her shortly thereafter. And of course, being at 6 years at this point doesn't make a difference. But when you're, 11 years old, it does.
Or 11, right. So she was, what, 16? And
yeah, I was probably, I guess it was probably like 1977 or 78. So I was 11 years old.
Okay. All right. And
and he had a crush on me, and I used to think it was so cute. I was like, oh, how cute.
So you knew he had a crush.
Well, my brother had told me.
Oh.
And yes. And I was like,
oh
that's so cute.
Oh, wow.
There was one time sleeping over at the house. I just as a joke, she was there with a boyfriend at the time. And I took the picture off the wall and I was having a sleepover with him and took it in the bedroom, of course, just being goofy and, my brother's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm taking this home. It's kind of creepy telling that now.
Oh, how cute. Oh, my gosh. So let's fast forward it a little bit. So, Annette, you wound up getting married to somebody else.
I actually ended up getting married, and he was at my wedding.
Sean was at your wedding.
Yes,
okay.
Sean was at my wedding,
Oh, wow.
and I had my first child. He was at the hospital.
Oh, wow.
Did you show up at Johnny's birth? I think.
No, I think it was Jenny's.
Jenny's.
Yeah.
Jenny. He was there when Jenny was born.
Okay.
And
I thought it might be mine, so
no.
So now you must have been heartbroken when she got married.
Well, no, I mean, this is, I was a little kid then, and of course, this is, well,
I was 23 at the time.
Yeah, so it's years later, so I'm not going to say that I still have a crush on her, but it was different then.
Right, yeah, sure. Well, you were probably dating and had girlfriends at that point, so it wasn't the dynamics as, like you said, as an 11-year-old.
Right.
It's totally different. So you wound up getting married, having
two children.
Okay.
And you were pretty much not really around at that point. I didn't see you. You did go camping. We did go camping at one point. You showed up camping at one point.
Yeah, that was probably a little bit later, but Eugene and I were still hanging out all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'd only see her, occasionally.
Had you moved away from the area?
I moved away from the area.
Okay.
So I hadn't been around him much.
Okay.
But then myself and my ex-husband separated, and I hadn't gone out. I was quite happy at home with the two kids. I didn't want to see outdoor life for a while.
Right.
And my brother actually convinced me to go out one night.
Okay.
And so I went out with him and my sister-in-law,
Oh.
and I ran into Sean, and I was like, oh my gosh.
He's grown up.
He's so grown up.
Oh, he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, how cute.
And then he actually came back to my mother. My mother was watching the kids at the time, and he actually came back to the building. And she lived up on the 5th floor.
Okay.
And it kind of freaked me out knowing that, oh, this is Sean O'Flynn. You know, so he hit the bottom of the stairs. I was like, good night. And I ran up the stairs. I was like, this is just too weird. This is just too weird for me.
Yeah, we weren't dating or anything.
No,
but
we just ran into
I'm not
each
going to lie. I
other.
was going to try to kiss her, and I think she knew that. And
And I ran.
it was kind of weird.
Wow.
She's like, okay, good night. And she thought maybe I was just walking her there because it was, we lived in the Bronx and just make sure she got home safe and everything.
Right.
And at that time, I was living around the corner.
Wow.
But I the
Yeah,
wheels were turning in my
you
mind.
You were already there.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
but she took off, ran up the stairs, but
It was
I
So-
knew that there was definitely a little something there that
Right.
night.
It was
that
already.
I
It was already.
sensed.
You were back to being 11 years
Yeah,
old. already.
exactly.
Okay,
The
interesting.
And he
picture on
wasn't
the
a little
wall
boy
was still
anymore.
in my mind.
Right.
I was like, oh wow. this is-
So, did you then call her and ask her for a date?
No, we were, Eugene and I were at the time hanging out in bars and going to clubs and that kind of thing. And I guess I was maybe 21 at the time,
Okay.
21. And I remember Eugene had told me one time, hey, my sister had asked me, when we going out again? And when he told me that, I remember thinking, I didn't say it, but I think, why would your sister ask you that? But then, of course, I said, that's interesting.
Right.
Why is she asking when are we going out again as a group?
Oh, wow.
And so, we ended up going out again to this bar one night. And,
No, what happened? What happened was actually, I had been late to bring my daughter to school,
Okay.
and he was a locksmith in Elmsford.
that's right. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that
Right,
part.
you
Yeah,
forgot
yeah,
about that
yeah.
part. So what had
Oh,
happened? This
interesting.
was after New Year. No, this was before New Year's. But I was late bringing my daughter to school, and when I got to her school, he was doing the locks on the front door of the school.
I was working on the front door,
Wow,
doing something with the front door, and
Oh,
And
my
that was
God.
so strange, right? That was like, oh my gosh. So that's when I asked my brother, I said, when are we all going to go out together again?
Wow.
And
oh, so that's how it happened?
yeah.
Oh, I thought you were thinking about me.
Well, she was after she saw you at the door again.
Yeah,
so-
doing the locks.
Yeah,
And that was
and-
just like such a strange
Well,
meeting.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it was meant to happen again,
yes.
and of course, at that point you were probably ready to take the next.
I was, because I
and
had
see.
been off on my own for a year, and I
Right,
just didn't want
right.
to be bothered with anyone.
So now, to fast forward a little bit, so from that point, how long was it before you got married?
Oh, that was much later, like 5 years.
5 years.
About 5
Oh, you
years.
did.
But
Okay.
we had lived together
Okay.
for quite a few years. We had lived together. We moved in together maybe 2.5, 3 years after we were together.
Yeah, if that.
If that.
Okay.
So, because we were in our second apartment by the time we got married.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you didn't rush into it.
No, we were living together, and
You took your time.
it took
Okay.
our time.
All right. And I want to ask, so how many years now have you been married?
24.
We're on our 25th.
Oh, nice.
It'll be our 25th anniversary.
Oh.
Yeah, if you had asked me that last year, I would have told you, I don't know, maybe 16. I don't count. I lose count.
Yeah, it's hard. I know.
But yeah, I was just thinking of it when we were
Oh.
coming.
I
up
only
here.
know because I prepped before coming.
Yeah.
Oh, see, yeah.
It's like, how long
See,
have we
we
been
are going to have a newlywed quiz. And so all the guys are like, Well, Alan was like, "Don't hit me with dates." And
Oh yeah, me either. I'm horrible
but
with
you know what?
dates.
I know.
Yeah, Alan and I are going to be hanging out in bars
Yeah.
after this.
And Kat are
Well-
gonna be driving home together.
I have to say, when Annette told me the love story, I just loved it because, knowing that you had a crush on her when you were 10 and 11. And Annette went into a little more detail because Annette told me how she used to make you breakfast
It's true.
when
Yes,
you
I
would
did.
sleep over,
Mhm.
and so Annette would be in the kitchen making eggs for you.
I'd come home from the bar and make breakfast for my brother and his friends.
Oh, how cute.
So yeah, and
Oh,
thinking
my
that, oh, it's so cute.
Yeah.
Look at all you guys.
Oh, wow.
Are you gonna go play baseball now?
Aw.
I just want to go on record saying that I think she dug me even back then.
Oh.
But,
Well, you
Yes,
never know.
you never know.
They're right. I mean, you have to wonder because, in your subconscious, a lot
know,
of
I-
things go on that we don't know about. Well, I want to thank you again for joining me. And I'm going to have you go over and sit with Alan and Kat. So don't go too far because we are going to do the quiz. And, so just prep yourself in your mind. Think back, what kind of questions could she be going to ask me? So
we're going to bomb on that
Yeah,
part, but no
yeah,
matter
I'm
what
just
you ask
telling
us,
you now.
just,
I know I would bomb on it. As I was writing these questions, I was thinking to myself, I would not get that one, not get that one, but we're going to have fun. So
It'll
anyway,
be fun.
thank you again so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I should preface this by saying that this goes back to that picture we were talking about.
Oh, how cute.
Who is that girl in the picture that hangs on your wall? Oh well, no reason, just asking, that's all. But I thought to myself, her smile was so bright, prettiest girl I'd seen in my life. He said, hey, that's my big sister, you're a kid, you're dreaming, that's all. Who is the girl in the picture that hangs on your wall? Hey there, pleased to meet you, I've seen you before. And I know you anywhere, you're that girl on the wall. But I stood there staring, her smile was so bright, prettiest girl I had seen in my life. Do you think we could go to a movie or something sometime? She laughed, touched my cheek and said, what a cute little boy. And drove off in a car with a boyfriend, his name was Roy. Hey, my sister's getting married, would you like to attend? She said that I could invite my close friends. Well, I thought to myself that her smile was so bright, prettiest girl I had seen in my life. But my heart sunk when I knew she was now gone. There goes the girl in the picture that hung on your wall. Many years later, in a dark, crowded bar, there was that smile I never forgot. She said, you've really grown, I didn't know you at all. Things didn't work out and that bastard Roy's gone. We laughed and we danced and we shut the bar down, and she fell in love. Well, I knew she'd come around. And I thought to myself that her smile was so bright, gave her a ring and
she hugged me and cried, an angel in white as she walked down the aisle. This is the story of our lives. Who is the girl in the picture that hung on your wall? The girl is my wife and the picture now hangs in our hall.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I didn't think I'd get everybody
really
so
good.
emotional with that.
Got me too.
Oh, that was beautiful.
That's really good.
Oh,
you're gonna have to play that again for me sometime. I'll have to be prepared with
Wow.